Welcome to Acute Conversations, the official podcast of APT Acute Care, where we share engaging conversations about acute care physical therapy so you can connect to your profession. I'm your host, Leo Arguelles, and in today's episode, we have interviews and highlights from APTA Acute Care's Bridge the Gap Conference 2026 in Chicago, Illinois. We hope you enjoy the show. We're here at Bridge the Gap 2026 over at Northwestern's physical therapy program. I'm here with Adam Bridwell, who did a presentation this morning about 3-to-1 clinical education model. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So, this presentation really came about because at Mayo we have a 3-to-1, 3 students to 1 clinical education coordinator role, and we're really seeing in the acute care setting in particular just a really hard ability to place students in clinical education. So we're hoping that this model could be maybe a branch to help address that need that we have. So, with that, we're just really trying to help create a structure that other, hospital systems can follow to really help broaden the educational opportunities for these students.
Awesome. I wanted to ask, I think at the beginning of your talk today, you had mentioned why there's some pushback from even taking a 1-to-1 model. I mean, I would even think just if more clinical instructors, rather than taking a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, they would even consider a 1-to-1 model. We'd have so many more available clinical rotations. So what's some of the pushback, or what's some of the reasons that clinicians might say that they don't want to take a student?
Yeah, I think, it's very personal for every clinician, but from what we really seen in the ACAP report is that it's that willingness, that kind of ability and that bandwidth of these clinicians to take on more. This is something that they can say, no, I can't really do. It's like kind of an optional ability for them to take on these students. So, if they're asked to be productive, see so many patients, reach so many units, they're not going to do that if they're already feeling, strained. So that willingness is the big thing that we're really seeing. But, hopefully if we can kind of have the educator role as a bridge to something greater, like administrative or some like career path beyond, that can really kind of hopefully help drive that as well as support the just educational model.
Awesome. All right, and so we're going to do for fun. We're going to ask you a couple rapid fire questions that have nothing to do, maybe a little bit to do with physical therapy. So, you ready? All right, 3 questions. What's your most favorite scrub color?
Pewter.
Pewter, awesome.
Pewter, I mean, that's what I have to wear at work, so.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
Cheese. I'm vegetarian.
Okay. Awesome. And what's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, I don't sing karaoke, but I feel like it'd have to be a Linkin Park song. Like, Numb. Yeah.
Numb, that's a good one. Yeah. At the end of the day when you have to document, that's a song. Awesome. Adam, well, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Leo.
Take care.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we're here at Bridge the Gap. I'm here with one of our presenters, Grant Bitzer, who is also an alumni of Northwestern's DPT program. We'll give us some quick information about your talk today.
Absolutely. So I gave the presentation on learning health system, what it is within our organization of a medical health center. And the premise is how to support ideas that clinicians have to just a clinical question. I have this problem. I really want to try and find a solution. And so what a learning health system does is it helps build that infrastructure to empower a clinician from having an idea to developing the idea to implementation, and also using implementation science to help create that idea and use it as an iterative process, because it's going to create more data and how to study that a little bit more.
That's fantastic. I think what's pretty cool too is that you've got some colleagues that the listeners of the podcast are very familiar with. You work with Ashley Poole.
I do.
And then also one of our recent guests, right? Josh.
Yes.
And actually, I think what was really cool about this presentation is that you actually in real time, you had people kind of put some clinical questions, some ideas together. And it was Josh had a small part in kind of going through that.
Yeah, Josh was viewing the responses remotely. So I appreciate his help, helping filter that process out. But the point of that, activity participation was to show the people in the audience what it's like to submit an idea and what our process is on the back end of our learning health unit to say, this clinician has a really good idea and I think we should go with it. So one clinician in the audience is a pediatric physical therapist, and has that clinical problem that they can't mobilize patients in their pediatric populations on CRRT. And so we talked about looking at it through what data would you need to help support your idea, to show the outcomes of what your proposed intervention would be, and also who are key collaborators and stakeholders, and seeing that project come to fruition, whether it's a QI project or a research project.
That's awesome. So what we usually do with the podcast is we have like rapid fire questions we call rapid responses. I'm going to ask you a couple of really quick questions. Okay. And you say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right. Your favorite teacher here over at your Northwestern's DPT program?
Bill Healy.
Bill Healy, who's also helping out with Bridge the Gap. What's your most favorite shoe to wear if you're working on acute care?
New Balance.
New Balance, fantastic. And if you were going to be a cartoon villain, who would you play?
So I have red hair. The villain from The Incredibles.
Yeah, right.
If I could spike up his hair and be him,
yes.
It would be him. I forget his name.
Yeah, I forget because he had some trauma with the Incredibles characters, right? I forget what his name was. I remember he had the mask and he had the character. Okay, very cool. We'll find out who it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Grant, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Leonard. Appreciate it.
Awesome. We're here at Bridge the Gap. I'm here with our rehab educators group. We've got Noelle. We've got Katie. What's the new news in terms of the rehab educators?
Well, just Friday, we won third place in the poster contest for the research that we've been doing on rehab clinical educators.
Fantastic.
So summarizing the framework that we have, we'd love to tell you more about that if you come to our annual or our quarterly meeting.
That will be on the 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Cool.
And the link has been sent out to the rehab educators listserv, but we can also send it out to the regular listserv, and everybody is welcome to come. You don't have to be an educator, just have to be interested in it. So
awesome. And we're probably going to have you guys on the podcast for another featured full-length episode, so stay tuned.
We have some exciting announcements coming up.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, I'm here at Bridge the Gap with Charlotte Lee. Charlotte, can you explain kind of your role and how essentially this would not be a functional conference without you? Everything would fall apart.
I really appreciate that. It is, with our group, with our Bridge the Gap committee, it's with all of us combined, it really helps bring this all together. A lot of what I do is like logistical things. So you'll see me at registration, you'll see a bunch of emails from me. But again, without the group of the whole committee, it's hard to get to where we are now. So I'm very appreciative for that whole group.
And how many registrants do we have altogether this time around?
So we originally capped at 150, and then we had a wait list, and then we let in the wait list, and now we have 157 total.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're gonna play a quick game. Have you heard of our our rapid responses?
No.
Okay, we're not gonna go a full minute, but I'm just gonna throw you some rapid fire questions, and you let me know.
Okay.
Okay, what your answer is. All right, ready?
Yes.
All right, your favorite pizza topping?
A combo of, I like a barbecue chicken bacon pizza.
Fantastic. Give me a podcast recommendation outside of our acute conversations.
I love Ladies and Tangents. They're so funny and just ridiculous, and I love it.
Fantastic. And last question, if you could spend a day with a cartoon character, who would it be?
Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers.
From Bob's Burgers? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
She's so funny, and I think I would just be laughing all day around her.
Fantastic. Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for helping us.
Thank you, Leo.
For being part of the podcast today and also helping out with the Bridge the Gap.
Thanks, Leo. Thanks so much.
All right, we're here at Bridge the Gap, and I have with me in person, I've got my co-host, Nicole, who just finished a presentation, and you brought some friends with you for your presentation. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
My name is Natalie. I'm an occupational therapist at St. Louis University Hospital.
And I'm Taylor. I'm from Yale New Haven Hospital, also an occupational therapist. And I'm Jen. I'm on faculty at St. Louis University.
Awesome. And what was your topic on today?
We spoke about post-intensive care syndrome in our PICS clinic at St. Louis University.
And then they said it was okay for the OTs to be here today at the Bridge the Gap conference.
They did. They allowed us in.
Which is fantastic. Which I think is pretty amazing in terms of like interprofessional, interdisciplinary collaboration. So fantastic job. I think what was really nice that a lot of people had some really good granular questions about how did you make this work, what's follow-up look like. The intention was that we thought like the doors would be bursting down with follow-up treatments, but a little bit difficult with capture, but I think it's great what you guys are doing.
Thank you. What was your favorite presentation as an OT that you've seen?
Honestly, just taking away from the OT perspective, just coming to see the impact tool yesterday.
Yeah.
Our department is so.
You're ready for it.
Yeah, we
You're
need
ready.
something like
we
that.
Need it. We're
we
hungry.
need it because we can't just do the impact, deciding our frequency, deciding how often we're seeing our patients. Do we cancel 24 AMPACs and stuff? I thought the impact tool is just like the perfect thing to bring back to like our managers and supervisors when we go back. And I mean, they were up there talking about how it's applicable to both PT, OT, and I was like, that's great.
Yeah, that was great.
Nicole, I think it's time to hit them with the rapid responses.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You're gonna have to start while my
Don't
brain
worry.
catches up to that.
Just do like 2 or 3 questions.
Okay, first one, Natalie, I got one for you. Do you eat noodles with a spoon or a fork?
Depends on the type of noodle. Mac and cheese would be with a spoon.
Spoon, all right.
Fantastic. I have a question. What's your most favorite type of shoe to wear while you're working on acute care?
Me?
Yeah.
Brooks. Die
Anybody?
hard. Die hard. Brooks girl.
Discount. What
Pull
else?
goes, dance goes.
Dance goes. Okay, fantastic.
I
Jennifer?
wear On Running.
On, yes. Very good. Awesome. I have another question for you. Tell me your perfect pizza. Deep dish, thin crust, vegetables, meat. What would you put on your pizza?
I mean, we're in Chicago, so we have to say deep dish. Right?
Yes, of course, mandatory.
But if I was at Yale, I'm gonna go thin crust pepperoni.
Thin crust pepperoni, fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a bad Chicagoan. I'm not a deep dish girl. I'm going for a thin crust.
Thin crust. Awesome.
All right,
Sorry.
One more question. You know you're an acute care therapist when?
The body fluids stop phasing you.
I was gonna say, I was like, you're purple wiping your shoes pretty frequently.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say when you have to throw out a pair of shoes.
Always have the backups ready.
Yeah.
Awesome.
When your family says, I can't believe you do that every day.
Right. Right. Well, thank you so much for presenting and being here part of Bridge the Gap. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Bill Healy. Bill, you're part of the committee that puts this all together for Bridge the Gap, you and Melissa. How's it going this time around compared to 2 years ago in 2024 when we did it over here for Bridge the Gap?
Yeah, oh my God, it's just incredible. We've got, last time we did we had 96 registrants. This time we've got 157. I mean, the energy in the room, we've got concurrent sessions. The topics, everyone I've attended, they're just well presented and timely. And there's just a lot of, I was telling you, Leo, there's a lot of energy and interest in what we can do in acute care and PTs. It's like, it seems like it's a burgeoning area, and I'm glad to be part of it.
One thing I wanted to ask you is that we had a very robust amount of presentations and also posters. How many people submitted this year? I mean, you have like a lot of different people submitting?
Yes, so I think marketing, I think Charlotte in the office was helpful in marketing, the call out for posters and ed sessions. We had 24 posters on Friday night.
That's awesome.
We liked how we had the keynote and then the poster and wine and cheese. People, came in that first day and got to mingle. That was a packed room. And then we had, oh my gosh, how many ed sessions. The one thing we did this time that was different too with the ed sessions, they were an hour in length, 30 minutes in length. I think that variety people, the presenters both, I think like that.
Yeah.
And attendees could come in and then, I'm gonna go to that now, instead of an hour and a half, the typical 2-hour presentations. I like that format too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's really cool for you is actually one of your alumni came and did a presentation, right? That was Grant. And I interviewed Grant. I said, Grant, who's your most favorite professor from Northwestern when you were a PT? Of course, he mentioned Bill.
Was I in the room? Yeah, he's good. It's good, isn't it good? The same thing with you, I'm sure, at UIC, to see your alums go out and have this interest in acute care. I'm partial to acute care.
Right, absolutely.
And doing research and publishing and disseminating, that's incredible.
That is very cool.
It's good stuff.
Awesome. But we're going to play a quick game. I'm going to ask you some questions super fast.
We did this last time.
We do it again. It's really simple. Bill, what's your most favorite color scrub to wear when you go to work in acute care?
Oh, scrub color. Oh, God. Probably I'll go with a basic blue PT blue.
PT blue, fantastic. And then when you're working on acute care, what's the best shoes to wear?
Oh, I like Echoes.
Echoes?
ECCO. I've got a couple pair at home, and I wear my Echoes. Because you're right, you're on your feet. They're loafers, slip-ins.
Nice.
I'm not tying anything. I just want to slip in and slip out.
Fantastic. And last question is, are there any PTs out there that you just want to give a shout out to for the podcast?
Oh my God. You know who was here yesterday for alumni reasons? Was Donna Fraunfelter.
Yes, Donna. Yes, absolutely.
She is, I was telling our students, she's a legend.
Yes, absolutely.
And so Donna Fraunfelter, the board, you know, seeing Tracy Norris and Aaron Thomas and you and Archana. It was great to see. I'm glad the board, they had a board directors meeting, retreat, you know, combined with this conference. I don't know if you guys are going to do that in 28, but that was great to see you guys there and to get your support of what we're doing.
What's fun too is that I heard some people in the back of the room saying, oh, that's Donna Fraunfelter. They had no idea who it was until a little bit later. Like, some lady just walked into the room and she just sat down, and it took them a while, and then you can hear the grumblings in the back room, and that's Donna Fraunfelter, that's the author, that's the one that wrote my cardio pump book for years. So,
I read it
right.
when I was in school in the late 70s. Yeah. I read their book.
So Donna, if you're listening, shout out to you, and we need to get you onto the podcast for an episode.
Yes, that'd be great.
That'd be really
she'd
cool.
love that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, good to see you.
Awesome.
See you next time.
Hi, we're here at Bridge the Gap. I've met Allie Guthrie, who is one of the attendees here. How's the seminar been so far?
It's awesome. I feel like I have learned a lot in areas that I didn't expect to learn a lot in. I've met a lot of cool people. It's been really exciting to be back in Chicago because I did my residency here in acute care at Northwestern. So it's fun to come back and be a part of the conference. So,
are there any kind of clinical pearls that you learned through this weekend that you feel like this is going to change my practice come Monday?
Well, definitely the F&D lecture.
I think was that Kim Lemons?
Yes.
She's fantastic, by the way.
Really, truly a really interesting human being. So I'm going to take that back, and I would like to disseminate that information to my staff as well, or like my colleagues. So, I can't wait.
Just let everyone know, Kim is actually holding the camera right now, so this is pretty hilarious. So we'll see. We'll flip it out later. And then, do you want to give any shout outs to any of your people from Northwestern?
Oh my gosh! Shout out to Jen Ryan. Obviously, she was one of my mentors at the residency. So
who's here today too? I have to find her. She's running around somewhere.
Running around, yeah. So
awesome.
Shout out, yeah.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm here at Bridge the Gap. I have two of the presenters that were here. Can you guys talk a little bit about, well, first of all, introduce yourselves, and then also, what did you guys talk about during your presentation?
My name is Dr. Kimberly Lemons. My name is Marissa Brooks. And we did a presentation on clarity in, clarity out, how we can use acute care outcomes to make sure that we communicate well with whatever our patients need for discharge.
And my portion was to talk about best practices of communication, and my lens is from a clinician and a supervisor.
Fantastic. Were there any really cool questions that came from the audience after your presentation?
There were a lot of nice application. What words do we use? What exactly do we have to say? What's the best way to communicate that when it comes to some of the documentation? And we were able to provide what we think would be some really nice word-for-word examples, some nice Mad Libs that we have of how do you just put in some of these things to make sure that we can get the best message out.
Good question.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for presenting.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on your podcast.
Cool. Thanks. All right, I'm here at Bridge the Gap with one of my colleagues, Professor Dr. Little, who actually teaches a number of different courses over at the University of Illinois at Chicago, here over at Bridge the Gap. And I wanted to ask you today, were there any kind of cool clinical pearls that you learned over the past 2 days?
I thought the content related to teaching instruction of acute care skills, particularly in a sim lab based setting, was phenomenal this weekend. I have so many new ideas and I'm so excited to start implementing them. So thank you, Bridge the Gap, for all these wonderful tools.
I love it. It's like you go to these seminars, you go to these conferences, and you come back and you're so kind of inspired trying to put some of these things together. And even it's like, sometimes it's just like a little thing. Maybe it's just like an article or a small reference. You're like, wow, and it just creates these opportunities for learning.
There was one lecture that did make me consider applying to an ED position.
Oh.
Just dropping it all. Like, I guess I'm an ED PT now.
There we go.
So,
absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of good people that are working in terms of APT acute care. They're doing some big stuff with the emergency department. What I think is so cool is that within the past 10 years, just how much more prevalent PTs are doing in the work that they're doing in the emergency department, but there's still more because there's definitely some places that still do not implement PTs in the emergency department. Were there any clinical pearls from that lecture?
Just what I thought was so cool is it's just a wonderful reminder of all the things that we can do and all the skills and knowledge that we have and value we can bring to a team. And it just made me really excited to be a physical therapist because we can help people in so many different ways.
Absolutely. That's so fun. You're like, I'm just gonna drop it all. I'm gonna go work in the emergency department. But you know what's cool is like, because you hear these stories about how much impact that you can have on your patients, your clients, and even in the whole healthcare system. So we're pretty cool in terms of what we do as PTs.
Yeah. Thanks, Leo.
Not a problem. All right, so Bridge the Gap is over. We just finished our last session. I just picked up some people that had very instrumental to putting this all together. I have one of the co-chairs, Melissa Haig, and I have Beth McAndrews, who's a committee member. What do y'all think? How did it go the past 3 days?
Fantastic. So we had, I think, the more increased participation at all levels in terms of attendees, in terms of poster submission, educational submissions. This conference is known for lots of collaboration and engagement among professionals, and we are definitely seeing that again. Lots of just getting ideas from each other. So I think it was great.
What's funny is they say that part of the draw to Bridge the Gap is that we have a small, intimate setting. There's it's not like CSM, which is just thousands and thousands of people. But y'all are growing, right? They're getting more and more attendees, so
we had folks on a wait list this time around. Wow. So we had to cap it based on space, and so that that'll bring up more questions for the future, like how big do we want to go? How big is too big, and still retain like the values that people have around that intimacy and collaboration. So
we had more attendees, and we also had more applicants for posters and more applicants for submissions for platforms than we've ever had before. So this year we actually decided to concurrent. So, you had to choose which session you were going to, which was really hard because we had so many good sessions.
Absolutely.
And on the education committee, we were overwhelmed and really excited about how many good submissions we had this year. And we had to kind of lump because we wanted to still feel like a intimate setting. So we lumped together themes so that we could have tabletop discussions at lunchtime. And we had tabletop discussions throughout all of lunch, and I overheard some of them. I was part of some of them. People didn't stop talking. No one left them. We had to start this next session.
Yeah, we were turning off the lights last night. It was like, you have to go. We have to close up the building. So that was great.
Well, you guys did a fantastic job. Thank you so much for helping put this together, and then hopefully we'll see you in the next 2 years, 2028. All right. Thanks,
Leo. Yeah.
We would like to thank all of the APT Acute Care members who joined us on the podcast during the Bridge the Gap 2026 conference. Acute Conversations is the official podcast of APT Acute Care. This episode was hosted by Leo Arguelles. Executive produced by Katie Brito and Edward Mathis. Music by Alexia Action from Pixabay. Sound effects also from Pixabay. For more information about APT Acute Care, be sure to check out our show notes for links and resources from the Academy. If you found value in our podcast, please be sure to subscribe, follow, and share it with your friends and colleagues. Join us next time for another engaging acute care conversation. Thank you for listening, and may your shoes and scrubs stay clean today.